Hey everybody, Shihan Ali here from Long Island Ninjutsu Centers, and I'm here with you right now for a series of questions that are our FAQs, frequently asked questions. And I wanted to start off with the first most commonly asked question. How does my child, or how do I advance through the belts? When do I get my next belt? When do I earn my uniform, etc., etc.? So I'm going to be looking down because I will be reading from some notes that I put. So just so you can see what I have and hear what I have to say. So do you need a certain amount of classes before being promoted to your next level? And that's a great question. This is something that is most widely asked in our school. And we do have a very thorough evaluation system. And this is the best answer that I can give, but please make note that every situation is different based on the student. Much of this has to do with the personal monitoring of each individual student and what they need along the way. So it's not a one model fits all type mentality. So there are 3 criteria in order to receive a belt or a uniform in my school. And what makes us unique is we have 2 systems of ranking in our school. One is the Little Warrior system, which is 2 to 4-year-olds. Then they progress on to Mighty Warrior through adults, and there's a whole nother level of ranking within that. So let me first go over the Little Warrior. The Little Warrior curriculum for the little ones, they receive when they first join our custom uniform with the eagle, bear, and the wolf right on the back. They get a t-shirt, and that is the first thing they start off in. Then after about 8 to 10 weeks, they will progress into receiving their white belt. Once they receive their white belt, about every 8 to 10 weeks, sometimes longer, depending on the child's age, they will get their white belt, and then they'll go through a series of what we call stripes, which mirror and coincide with the belts of the higher ranking and older children. So they'll get a yellow stripe, green, blue, purple, brown, and a black stripe, eventually being promoted to their yellow belt. And hopefully at that time, they've been in our Little Warrior curriculum for over a year and a half, and they will move on into our Mighty Warrior curriculum. Once that happens, then they're now officially a Mighty Warrior, and they'll get belts, the yellow belt with the stripe, and then the green belt, and so on, all the way through until they become a black belt. Okay, now for every child it's different for many reasons. Some start as young as 2 years old, and some then started at 3. So a 2-year-old will not progress as quick as a 3-year-old, obviously because of aptitude and understanding of the curriculum, maturity level. You know, we're working on different things for each individual student. So my one thing that I urge to you is not get caught up in the rank. The belt promotion, the white belt or the stripe, does not mean that your child is doing good or bad. In other words, if you see someone else getting promoted and you think like, hey, my son joined at that same time, or my daughter joined as the same as that other child, but they got their belt already. They might be 3.5 years old and your child might be 2. So everyone progresses differently. Does it mean that your son or daughter is doing worse? Absolutely not. Each person progresses at their own ability based on their age and maturity level. Some of them we just need to work more with. We're in no rush. We want them to be good at what they do, and I'm sure you do as well. So we look at all belt promotions as an accomplishment. Nothing makes a teacher more prouder than promoting their child to go through the ranks and eventually become a black belt, right? So we're not holding children back for any specific reason other than we want them to meet the criteria and have the ability. So now for Mighty Warriors on up to adults, they start off in sweatpants and a t-shirt. Their first promotion is their uniform. Once they get their gi, that's their first. We look at that just as a belt promotion, right? But they're getting their uniform as part of the promotion. In our school, you earn your uniform. Every other school you join, you get a white belt and a uniform, and that's okay. That's their philosophy. But in our school, we want to make all of our students work towards every achievement that they get. So at the Mighty Warrior to adults, they start off in sweatpants and a t-shirt. They earn their uniform, the gi, then they go on and earn their belts, right? Now, here are the 3 criteria that are very important for you to understand. There are amount of classes taken within a specific period that we have monitored, and we know each belt level, each level that has a certain criteria, we have that, and we keep track of it based on attendance. So you have to make certain amount of classes in order to be eligible. Now, you may make your classes before becoming eligible because you also have a certain period of time that you have to sit within the rank. I always say that we look at this kind of like a spaghetti sauce cooking on the stove. You could cook one in an hour, or you could cook one over 10 hours based on simmering it. So the one that lasts longer and simmers longer always tastes better. So what we want to do is make sure that our students simmer in their belt so that they get good at their technique and it becomes a part of their muscle memory, right? So class is in, time period within a belt, like for example, someone will not be able to progress if they haven't been there for a certain period of time. Even if they were some sort of super talented natural athlete that could get the movements, we still want them to sit within the rank for a certain period of time. And the third and most important thing is ability, right? That's knowing the material that we have set out. And by the way, each level has its own curriculum, and it has a specific amount of techniques that need to be practiced. And we go over that on a regular basis. We make sure that they know how to fall, how to roll, how to punch, how to kick, and all these things based on their belt level. Once they have that down and they can perform it, not just for a test, but perform it regularly without question and do it efficiently with high level of quality, then we'll put them up for what we call our belt test, right? Normally the white belt is something that we give to them as a gift. It's kind of like a secret. They come into the dojo and boom, we have their white belt. But any other belt test above that, yellow on up to black, we have a specific date where it's a specific ceremony at a certain time, and the parents get to watch, and we have an audience, and we make them go through their belts, and then we do a nice ceremony at the end where we tie the belt, give them their certificate, and we take pictures and so on. So those are the three criteria that you have to meet. So of course, class is in, time period in, and the final straw is ability. Now understand that our philosophy is that the promotion of a belt is an honor, and it's an extreme privilege, right? It's not a right, meaning like I've been here and I've paid my tuition and I've been there for that amount of time and you owe me a yellow belt. No, we only will give it to the people who have the right attitude, the right spirit, and sometimes let's pretend like someone's so impatient. We might make them wait longer to teach them patience, right? Or maybe they have the natural ability and they're cocky, so we might make them wait a little bit longer so that they understand that it's not about ego, it's about the technique and knowing how to perform it with a humble attitude. So there are a large amount of different reasons why we may promote or maybe hold someone back. We just ask and urge you as a parent or as a student to trust in us so that we can make the right decision for you to become the best martial artist you can ever be. And that's just so important. It's something that we need to do so that you can defend yourself for real in the street, because the bottom line is we're doing martial arts so that we can defend ourselves, right? That's the end-all be-all result of it all. We want you to be able to be talented, have self-confidence, have self-esteem, have focus and control, but we also want you to be able to perform the techniques so that you can defend yourself, God forbid, in a real-life situation. So remember, we want you to progress. We also want you to be the best you can for a variety of reasons, and we see this in each and every one of our students. So there is no way that every single person will progress through the ranks at the same time, all the time. And we want to make sure that you trust in us, that we will match the student's ability and their progress and work with them as an individual, not as a group, as an individual. Each student we monitor so that they get the most out of their training, and then they progress through their belt levels. I hope this helped you. By the way, there's one thing I do suggest. We do have on our app, the university, where you can actually purchase the white belt curriculum so that child, your child or yourself, can practice at home, watching the videos, seeing the movements, reading the curriculum. So if you want to help your child be better, teach them how to practice on their own. Not just come to the dojo once or twice a week or 3 times a week, but go home and worry and practice about what their quality of their curriculum is and knowing the moves. It's not just up to us. We can only do so much with 2 or 3 hours a week. So the more you practice at home, the more parents will work with the children on the videos and so on, the better the student will be. That's the most important thing to understand. I hope this was a good lesson for everybody and answered some questions. Thank you very much. Arigato. Sayonara. Have a great day. Take care, everybody. Bye.